Welcome back. In this video, we are going to check a very useful tool for vulnerability analysis, probably one of the best tools that perform this process automatically. It is very easy to use and that tool is called Nessus. To get running, we must first download it and install it. So to do that, open up your Firefox. So I'm gonna open my Firefox and just type Nessus download. And when you type Nessus download, go to this website, which is tenable.com, and you can go ahead and press the download button. But for you, if this page doesn't come to you, you have to choose the Linux Ubuntu, which is the AMD 64-bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and press download. I'm gonna press here agree, and it will start downloading. Of course, I have already downloaded mine, but once you have downloaded yours, go to your folder in which the Nessus is downloaded, and when you open the folder in which the Nessus is downloaded, right click here and open terminal in that folder in which it is in the downloads. To install, just type sudo dpkg, which is for dpackage, -i for install, and then the Nessus name. To type it, just type capital N and press tab to auto-complete it, and I'm gonna press enter here, and I'm gonna type in my password, and it will go ahead and install it. Just give it a second to install. Okay, to start Nessus, I'm gonna go ahead and press copy this, and I'm gonna paste it here. I'm gonna type in my password and it's done. And after that, go into this link right here, which is to continue the configuration of this Nessus, or I'm gonna just copy it and paste it in my Firefox web browser. I'm gonna paste it here. Potential security risk, don't mind this, just accept the risk and continue. Okay, it's initializing the installation here. One thing that we have to know about Nessus is it takes a lot of time to install, so take your time in installing this Nessus right here, and it all depends whether you have a great RAM storage or not. Otherwise, just give it a time to install it and make it done. I'm gonna press continue here. Start a purchase instance of Nessus, start a trial Nessus Expert, start a trial of Nessus Professional, register Nessus Essential. Just click like here, and I'm gonna press here continue. And for this to work, you have to register here. So I'm gonna type in my name and my email, and for this to work, you have to use your valid email because it will ask you for activation code later. I'm gonna copy it here just to make sure, and I'm gonna press continue here, and I'm gonna create username. That's Guru. I'm gonna type in the password. Create it, press submit, save. This downloading plugins of Nessus will take up to 30 to 40 minutes. So give it time, and when it's done, we will continue to discover vulnerabilities with Nessus. So that was loading for almost an hour, but it's finally over and we are ready to explore the Nessus tool. And to remind you, we are only going to scan only local IP address with Nessus Essentials. You cannot scan an external IP address, so scanning a website is not going to work unless it is inside of your network. Another thing to remind is we can only scan up to 16 IP addresses with this free version. So let's go ahead and do the scanning. So go ahead and press this button here that says new scan. We can see that we got a lot of options right here. We got the basic network scan, which tells that a full system scan suitable for any host, and the advanced scan, and it says configure a scan without using any recommendations. You can see that advanced scan, configure a scan without using any recommendations. Advanced dynamic scan, configure a dynamic plugin scan without recommendations. So basically this is the options that we have with Nessus. We also have the mobile device scan. This is the upgrade version, and all the options right here, they says the upgrade version. These are the paid version. And for this part, we are going to only see the basic network scan, since this is the fastest and only allowed have options. And I'm gonna click right here. For the name part, you can enter Metasploitable. And of course, to remind you, we are going to scan our Metasploitable. And in the description part, we target, you can put which targets you want and what type of scans you can do. But for this part, I'm gonna leave it off. And folders, of course, is gonna put it in my scan. And for the targets, you can specify your target, but if you want to scan a whole network, you can specify like this: 192.168.88.1/24 if it's a slash network, or you can do it like this, which is 192.168.88.255, and this can scan your whole network. But remember, we only have permission to scan only 16 IP addresses. And for this part, I'm going to scan my Metasploitable, and its IP address is 192.168.88.248. But if you don't know it, you can go ahead to your Metasploitable and type ifconfig, and you can figure out your IP address of your Metasploitable. Okay, so let me get back to my web browser in the Nessus scan. So this is I specify my IP address right here, which is the IP address of my Metasploitable. Under the schedule part, you can schedule a type of scans in certain periods of time, or if you just want to schedule a scan while you are doing something else on the side. For this part, I'm going to leave it off. And in the notification part, you can send results through emails over SMTP server, but again, for this part, I'm going to leave it here, but you can specify your email address in which you want to send here, and you can send it over SMTP server. Under this discovery part, so in the scan types, we have a lot of options right here: port scan, common ports, all ports, and custom. In the port scan, which is the common ports, this is similar to the nmap scans, and it will scan for the most known ports out there. But for this part, I'm going to choose right here for all the common ports out there. And if I go to the assessment part, just leave right here. Default, we don't want anything here. Avoid potential false alarms, disable CGI scanning, and web application, disable web application scanning. So just leave it here as default. And under the report port, this is, you just leave it as a default right here. Advanced portion, you can leave it here for custom. So it's going to scan 30 simultaneous hosts maximal, 4 simultaneous check per host, and 5-second network and readout. And so after you have done this and set up your configuration, just put save here. So when you configure your setup, it's not going to start by itself. You just have to press right here, which shows the launch here, and I'm going to press it, and it will start scanning. Okay, to see while it is scanning, you can press the name right here, which is Metasploitable, and you can check in what percentage and what it managed to find while it's scanning. And right here it says basic network scan, which is the type of scan that we did in the first beginning, and status is currently running, and it managed to find right here which 7 critical, and so on and so on. So the vulnerabilities that is found is ranged from info up to critical. This info is information disclosure, which is something like the version of the software, the low, the medium, the high, the critical. But what most important to us is the critical and the high vulnerabilities. Others can be useful, but these two are the main ones. Okay, right here it managed to find 2 high vulnerabilities, 4 medium, and currently it is at 6.90%, and it found 52 information disclosure vulnerabilities. And as you can see, it's currently at 4% right here. And you can also check right here and click in the vulnerability section, and you can see what it managed to find at the current scan. Okay, so just give it a minute and let it finish. Okay, it's done scanning. So let's go ahead and see what results it came up with. So I'm gonna press right here, and we can see right here it managed to find this critical, high, mixed, medium, low, and info. As I have said previous, told you that the most important things to us are the critical and the high. So let's go ahead and check this one, which is the Unreal RCD. So this is the critical vulnerability it found, which is the Unreal RCD backdoor detection. And this description says the IRC server is a version of Unreal RCD with a backdoor that allows an attacker to execute arbitrary code on the affected host. The solution is redownload the software, verify it using the published MD5 or SHA-1 checksums, and reinstall it. So this is a critical one, and it says that it allows for remote code execution, and it's found in the port 666.7 with over TCP, and this is the IP address, which is the IP address of our metasploitable. And the severity is critical. We can see its version, type is remote, and it's still as in the description, and when it was published, and when it was modified, and so on and so on. We can see its risk information right here. By the way, try to see what you can come up with. Go ahead and try to see another one. So let's go ahead, this one, VNC server password. So this is a critical one. So it managed to find the credentials for the VNC server, which is the password, and its description says the VNC server running on the remote source is secured with a weak password. Nessus was able to log in using VNC authentication in a password, and this is the credential right here, which is the password, and a remote unauthenticated attacker could exploit this to take control of the system. So this is a very critical one, and an authenticated remote attacker can exploit this and enter to the system. And a solution says secure the VNC service with a strong password. So we have to change this weak password right here to a strong password, and it's found in the port 5900 over TCP. And let's go ahead and try to see another one, but this time let's see this one right here for the high vulnerabilities. And let's go ahead and see the Samba Baldock vulnerability. So let's go ahead and see its description. The version of Samba ACIF is Samba server for Linux and Unix running on the host is affected by flaw known as Baldock that exists in the security account manager, which is SAM, and local security authority domain policy LSAD protocols due to improper authentication level negation over remote procedure call channels. So this basically that it allows the attacker to enter to the system with improper authentication. So its solution says that you have to upgrade to this version, which is 4.2.11 or 4.3.8. You can see other information that we get. We can see the risk information right here. This is interesting to us. This is the CVS score, which is 7.5, and it's high. Let's go ahead to this one and see the vulnerability information. And the exploit available false. Exploit is not available. And the vulnerability publication date was March 23, 2016. And the reference information right here, this CVE right here, and you can go ahead and search for this particular CVE on Google and try to see its vulnerability and see how you can come up how to exploit it. Okay, basically this is how we can do to see how we can come up with the Nessus vulnerability. You can click in with the particular vulnerability and see how it's exploited, what its score is, and where it's found, and so on and so on. But for the last part, let's go ahead and see for the information disclosure, which is right here, the Open SSL detection. Let's see description. Based on its response to a TLS request with a specially crafted server name extension, it seems that the remote service is using the Open SSL library to encrypt traffic. Note that this plugin can only detect Open SSL implementation that have enabled support for TLS extension. So The SSL and TLS, as we know that they are the encrypting algorithm used to encrypt the data when they are transported across a network. So what they are saying is the SSL is open, there are no authentication with it, and it is found in the port 25 over TCP, and so on and so on. Okay, great. Do you see right now how amazing this Nessus scanner is? It literally gave us most of the vulnerabilities just from a single scan. In the next section, we'll see how to exploit most of the vulnerabilities on the Metasploitable, but on other targets as well. In the next video, we are going to scan other machines using Nessus, and we are going to see what results we got. Stay tuned and see you then.